Have you ever found yourself frozen in place, your mind going completely blank, just when you need to say a simple hello in English? That moment of panic, where you're desperately searching for the right word, is more common than you think. I've been there too. In my years of teaching English and traveling the world, I've seen how a simple greeting can open doors or, if done wrong, create awkward barriers. But what if I told you that by mastering just 10 essential English greetings, you could navigate almost any social situation with confidence and charm? That's exactly what we're diving into today. This isn't just a list, it's your key to unlocking genuine connections, making a stellar first impression, and truly sounding like a native speaker. I'm your guide on this journey, and I promise, by the end of this, you'll not only know these greetings but you'll understand the subtle secrets behind when and how to use them. Think about it, from job interviews to casual coffee chats, from formal meetings to making new friends, greetings set the tone for everything that follows. They are the gateway to every conversation. And here's a little secret most language courses don't tell you: native speakers often use a very limited set of greetings, but they use them with a deep understanding of context and nuance. That's what we're going to master together. So, if you're ready to banish those awkward silences and start every interaction on the right foot, you're in the right place. Let's begin this adventure by exploring why greetings are so powerful. Did you know that according to psychological studies, the first few seconds of an interaction can determine the entire outcome? Your greeting is your first vocal handshake. It conveys your attitude, your respect, and even your personality. I remember once, in a busy London cafe, I used a greeting that completely changed the course of my day. But I'll save that story for later. Right now, let's focus on the first and most fundamental greeting you must have in your arsenal. It's so basic that you might think you already know it, but trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. That first gateway greeting, as we discussed, is the mighty hello. It's your universal key, your safe bet in almost any situation. But language is like a living, breathing entity, it has layers. And right beneath hello lies its powerful, and often more frequently used, sibling, hi. Now, don't make the mistake of thinking hi is just a casual version of hello. It's more nuanced than that. Hi is the workhorse of informal communication. It's warm, it's friendly, and it's the sound of effortless connection. Think about the last time you walked into a cozy coffee shop or met a friend at the park. You likely said hi. Its power lies in its simplicity and the immediate sense of familiarity it creates. I've observed countless interactions, and hi is the grease that keeps the wheels of daily social life turning smoothly. But here's a pro tip that most learners overlook: the delivery is everything. A flat, monotone hi can sound bored or even dismissive. But a hi, with a slight upward inflection and a smile, even in your voice, can work wonders. It signals you're genuinely pleased to see or meet the person. This is where you start to move from simply knowing the word to truly mastering the greeting. Let me share a quick story. Early in my teaching career, I had a student from a very formal background. He only used hello, believing it was the most correct. While it was never wrong, it created a subtle, unintentional distance between him and his more relaxed colleagues. The day he started using a confident hi with his team, he told me the dynamic shifted noticeably. They began inviting him to lunch, including him in casual chats. That's the power of choosing the right tool for the social context. Hi is for building bridges. It's for colleagues you see every day, for friends, for family, for neighbors, and for anyone in a relaxed setting. It's your go-to for creating a friendly atmosphere from the very first second. Remember, in English, especially in American and Australian cultures, an immediate, informal friendliness is highly valued. Hi is your ticket to that. Now, let's pair it with the most common follow-up question, how are you? This combination, hi, how are you, is perhaps one of the most common greeting sequences you will ever hear. But a word of caution, how are you, in this context is often a rhetorical question. It's a polite social ritual, not always a genuine inquiry into your well-being. The expected response is usually a brief, positive, I'm good, thanks. How are you? This reciprocal question keeps the social volley going. Mastering this call and response is crucial. It shows you understand not just the words, but the cultural dance that accompanies them. Now, let's talk about the third essential greeting, one that often causes confusion but is incredibly powerful when used correctly, hey. I can almost hear the questions forming. Is hey even proper English? Is it too casual? The answer is nuanced. Hey has firmly planted itself in the landscape of informal English, particularly in American English. It's the sound of cool, relaxed familiarity. But here's the critical rule, you only use hey with people you already know. Using hey with a stranger or someone in a formal position can come across as disrespectful or overly familiar. It's a greeting for friends, close colleagues, and peers. Think of it as a warmer, more personal version of hi. The delivery, again, is key. A drawn-out hey with a smile is a world apart from a short, sharp hey. It carries emotion in its tone. I remember once, I used a cheerful hey with a friend I hadn't seen in years, and it instantly erased the time and distance between us. That's the magic it holds. However, a crucial piece of advice, pay attention to the name that follows. Hey almost always demands the person's name. Hey, Maria, sounds friendly and acknowledging. Just hey by itself can sometimes sound like you're trying to get someone's attention, almost like a gentle call to action. It's the difference between a greeting and a call. So, to master hey, remember its two companions, familiarity and a name. This brings us to an important crossroad. We now have hello, hi, and hey. How do you choose? It's a spectrum of formality. Hello is your formal, all-purpose tool. Hi is your standard, friendly, all-rounder. Hey is your inside tool for your inner circle. Understanding this spectrum is what will make you sound natural. You're not just memorizing words, you're learning to read the room and select the appropriate social key. This conscious choice is what separates a learner from a natural. Let's practice this mentally. Imagine 3 scenarios: walking into a job interview, meeting a friend for coffee, and seeing your neighbor while getting your mail. Which greeting would you use for each? If you thought hello for the interview, hey for the friend, and hi for the neighbor, you're already thinking like a native speaker. This intuitive selection process is your goal. But life isn't just divided into formal events and chats with friends. There's a vast middle ground, and that is where our next 2 greetings truly shine. Let's step into the world of good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. These are the polished, sophisticated cousins of hello. They carry a weight of formality and respect that is perfect for specific settings. Imagine walking into an office, a hotel, or a business meeting. A crisp, clear good morning is more than a greeting, it's a sign of professionalism and courtesy. It shows you are aware of the time of day and are choosing a greeting that reflects a higher level of decorum. Here's a fascinating linguistic detail. We almost never say good day as a greeting in modern English, unless you're being deliberately old-fashioned or you're in Australia, where it's sometimes used as a farewell. So, stick to the three main time-based greetings. Now, a critical warning that trips up many learners: good night is never, ever used as a greeting. It is exclusively used when you are leaving someone or going to bed. It's a farewell, a wish for a restful sleep. Using good night when you arrive somewhere will cause confusion. So, remember this mantra: good morning to greet, good night to retreat. The beauty of good morning and its counterparts is their versatility. They can be used with anyone, from your boss to the barista you see every day. It's a consistently safe and polite choice. However, pay attention to the tone. A rushed, mumbled morning can lose its polite impact. I advise my students to practice saying it with a warm, genuine tone. It makes a world of difference. Think of it as a verbal handshake. It's not just about the words, it's about the respectful energy you convey. I've found that in professional environments, consistently using these time-specific greetings creates a perception of you as being polished, attentive, and respectful. It's a small investment of effort for a significant return in social capital. And don't forget, as the clock ticks past 12 p.m., you smoothly transition to good afternoon, and as the sun sets, you welcome the good evening. This awareness subtly signals your integration into the culture. Now we venture into the heart of casual, everyday English. We've covered the basics, but to truly sound natural, you need to understand the greetings that natives use in their daily, unscripted conversations. This is where "how are you doing" and "how's it going" enter the stage. These are not just questions, they are the standard, go-to greetings for millions of English speakers, particularly in North America. They serve the same function as "hi, how are you," but with a more relaxed, flowing energy. Let's break down "how are you doing." First, notice the contraction. Hour becomes hour in rapid speech. How are you doing? This greeting feels warmer, slightly more invested than a simple "how are you?" It implies a bit more interest in the person's state of being. However, and this is crucial, the expected response is still largely the same. You wouldn't typically launch into a detailed account of your health or personal problems. The standard, almost ritualistic reply is "I'm doing well, thanks." "How about you?" or the very common "good, thanks." "And you?" This maintains the smooth, social flow. Now, let's meet its even more casual sibling: "how's it going?" This is perhaps one of the most versatile informal greetings. It's so common that it's often shortened to a quick "how's it goin'?" The "it" here doesn't refer to anything specific, it's a general reference to life, circumstances, everything. The beauty of "how's it going" is its effortless cool. It's perfect for the supermarket, the gym, a casual workspace. The response is identical: "it's going well," or just "good." "How about you?" Mastering the rhythm of this exchange is key. You need to be able to recognize it as a greeting and not an actual question requiring a long answer. I've seen learners freeze when asked "how's it going" because they overthink it. They search for what it refers to. Don't. Just see it as a friendly noise, a social handshake. Respond in kind and reciprocate the question. This seamless back and forth is the sound of everyday social harmony. But what about those moments when you see someone you haven't run into for ages? This is where English greetings become more expressive and move beyond the daily pleasantries. Let's explore the wonderful world of reunion greetings. The most common and incredibly useful one is, "Long time no see." Now, you might have heard that this phrase is grammatically irregular, and you'd be right. Its origins are debated, but it has been fully adopted into everyday English. It's a cheerful, warm way to acknowledge a gap in time. It immediately addresses the elephant in the room, your absence from each other's lives, and does so in a positive, welcoming way. The typical response is, "Yeah, it has been a while. How have you been?" This smoothly transitions the conversation into catching up. A slightly more formal alternative is, "It's been a while," which carries the same meaning but with a slightly more refined tone. Now, the follow-up question, "How have you been?" is the critical component here. Notice the difference from "How are you?" The present perfect tense have been points to the period of time since you last met. This is no longer a rhetorical social ritual, this is a genuine invitation to share a brief update. You can respond with a bit more substance, though still keep it relatively concise unless you have hours to chat. "I've been great. Really busy with work, but good. How about you?" This exchange is the foundation of reconnecting. I recall using "long time no see" with a colleague I hadn't seen since before the pandemic, and it instantly created a bridge, allowing us to skip the awkwardness and dive into a meaningful conversation. It showed I remembered them and was happy to see them again. Another powerful phrase in this category is, "What have you been up to?" This is an open-ended question that asks about someone's life, activities, and work during the time you haven't seen them. It's a fantastic way to show genuine interest. When you use these reunion greetings, you're doing more than just saying hello, you're actively rebuilding a connection. You are demonstrating that you value the relationship enough to acknowledge the passage of time and express curiosity about their life. This layers depth and sincerity onto your conversational skills. Now, let's dive into two greetings that are the ultimate test of your informal English comprehension: "What's up?" and "How's everything?" These are the chameleons of the greeting world, and understanding them is a true mark of fluency. First, "What's up?" This is arguably one of the most casual greetings you'll encounter. It's the equivalent of "what's happening?" or "what's new?" and is used almost exclusively among friends, peers, and family. Here's the critical piece of advice that will save you from confusion: "What's up?" is rarely a literal question. The most common, natural response is not a list of your current activities. Instead, people typically respond with "not much," "nothing much," or "Hey, what's up?" as a return greeting. Sometimes, you might briefly mention one thing you're doing, like just heading to work, but the key is to keep it short. The biggest mistake learners make is treating "what's up" as a genuine request for information and launching into a detailed story. This breaks the social script. It's a ritual, a way of saying "I acknowledge you" in a friendly way. Now, let's talk about "How's everything?" This is a slightly warmer, more encompassing version of "How are you?" The everything refers to the general state of your life, work, health, family, all of it. But, and this is important, it's still often used as a polite greeting. The expected response is usually positive and vague: "Everything's good," or "Can't complain." It's a way to show a broader interest without demanding deep details. However, if you're speaking with a close friend, you can use their tone to gauge if they want a more genuine answer. The magic of mastering "what's up" and "how's everything" lies in recognizing their social function. They are tools for maintaining connection and signaling familiarity. When someone uses these with you, it often means they see you as a friend or an equal. Using them appropriately in return solidifies that bond. I remember when I first truly understood what's up. I realized I was no longer just a student of the language, but was starting to participate in its culture. So far, we've built a solid foundation of greetings for various situations. But what about those moments that call for a little more warmth, a little more genuine emotion? This brings us to two of my personal favorite greetings: "It's great to see you" and "It's nice to see you." These phrases are powerful because they go beyond acknowledging someone's presence, they actively express your positive feelings about it. They add a layer of personal connection that the other greetings we've discussed don't inherently carry. Let's dissect the subtle but important difference between them. "It's nice to see you" is wonderfully polite and warm. It's a safe, kind, and universally appreciated greeting. You can use it with almost anyone: a colleague, an acquaintance, a family friend. It conveys a sense of pleasure without being overly intense. "It's great to see you," on the other hand, turns up the volume on that emotion. It implies a higher level of enthusiasm and genuine delight. You typically use this with someone you know better, like a close friend, a beloved family member, or a mentor you truly admire. The key to making these greetings land effectively is your tone of voice and body language. Saying "it's great to see you" with a flat voice and no smile will create a dissonance that the other person will feel. But when you match the words with a bright tone, direct eye contact, and a sincere smile, the message becomes incredibly powerful. I once used "it's great to see you" with a former student who had overcome huge challenges to succeed. The look on her face confirmed that those words, delivered with genuine feeling, validated all her hard work. It wasn't just a hello, it was an affirmation. These greetings are perfect for the beginning of meetings, reunions, or even when welcoming someone to your home. They set a positive, collaborative, and friendly tone for the entire interaction that follows. Remember, language is not just about transmitting information, it's about building relationships. And these two phrases are masterful tools for doing exactly that. We are approaching the finish line, but we cannot overlook one of the most critical greetings for making a powerful first impression: "Nice to meet you." This phrase is the cornerstone of introductions. It's your verbal business card, expressing politeness, respect, and a willingness to engage with someone new. The moment you are introduced to someone, whether by a friend, at a networking event, or in any formal setting, "Nice to meet you" is the expected and essential response. It completes the social transaction of an introduction gracefully. But here's how to elevate it from good to great. While "nice to meet you" is perfectly fine, adding a simple "it's" at the beginning transforms it. "It's nice to meet you" sounds more complete and slightly more polished. For an even more formal or enthusiastic tone, you can use "It's a pleasure to meet you." This version carries significant weight and is perfect for business contexts or when you are genuinely honored to meet someone. Now, let's talk about the response. This is where many people get flustered. The response is not "Nice to meet you, too." While that is grammatically correct, it's a bit repetitive. The most natural, fluid, and native-like response is simply "You too," or "likewise." These small words do a massive amount of social lifting. They reciprocate the sentiment perfectly without echoing the same phrase. I've witnessed introductions where one person says, "It's a pleasure to meet you," and the other responds with a confident, "Likewise." The exchange becomes smooth, professional, and effortless. Remember, the goal is to sound natural, not like you're reciting a script from a textbook. Another pro tip: always pair this greeting with a confident smile and, if appropriate, a firm handshake or a nod. This nonverbal communication reinforces the polite words you are speaking. This greeting is non-negotiable. Forgetting to say "nice to meet you" can make you seem abrupt, disinterested, or even rude. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful tools in your social arsenal, instantly signaling that you understand basic etiquette. Mastering this, along with its nuanced variations and the perfect response, will ensure you handle every new introduction with confidence and class. And now, we arrive at our 10th and final essential greeting. This one is deceptively simple but holds the key to transitioning from a simple greeting into an actual conversation. It is the question, "How have you been?" Now, you might think we've covered this with "How are you?" but the difference is profound. "How have you been?" is specifically designed for people you already know, but haven't seen in a modest amount of time. It uses the present perfect tense, which connects the past to the present. This subtly tells the person you are interested in what has happened in their life during the period you haven't been in contact. It shows a deeper level of care and curiosity than the standard "How are you?" which often functions as a mere pleasantry. When you ask "How have you been?" you are genuinely opening a door for them to share a little more. The response can be more detailed. Instead of an automatic "I'm good," you might hear, "I've been pretty busy, but good." "I just started a new project at work," which immediately gives you a topic to discuss. This is your conversational catalyst. It's the perfect follow-up to "Long time no see," or "It's great to see you." It demonstrates active listening and a genuine investment in the relationship. However, be prepared to listen to the answer and ask a follow-up question. This is how connections are strengthened. I advise my students to practice the intonation of this question. A flat "How have you been?" mumbled quickly loses its sincerity. But a warm, "So, how have you been?" with a slight stress on "have," sounds genuinely interested. This single question, used correctly, can transform a brief encounter into a meaningful exchange. It tells the other person that you see them as more than just a passing acquaintance. You are acknowledging the history you share and expressing a desire to update that story. In the grand tapestry of human connection, "How have you been?" is the thread that mends the gaps of time. And so, we have reached the end of our journey through the 10 essential English greetings. But this is not a true ending, it is a beginning. It is the start of your new, confident chapter in English communication. Let's take a final, powerful look at the toolkit we've built together. We began with the universal hello and its friendly sibling hi. We embraced the casual cool of hey for our inner circle. We learned the professional polish of good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, remembering to save good night for our goodbyes. We mastered the everyday flow of "How are you doing?" and "How's it going?" and we unlocked the secret to reconnecting with "Long time no see" and "How have you been?" We added genuine warmth with "It's great to see you" and navigated first impressions flawlessly with "Nice to meet you." These are not just 10 phrases, they are 10 keys to 10 different social doors. Remember, the true mastery lies not in memorization, but in application. It's in the subtle understanding that a hey can build camaraderie, a good morning can command respect, and a "How have you been?" can rebuild a bridge. This knowledge is your power. Now, the most important step is yours to take. You must practice. Shadow these greetings out loud. Imagine different scenarios and decide which greeting fits best. Watch movies and listen to conversations, not just for the words, but for the music behind them, the intonation, the rhythm, the feeling. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. Every native speaker you admire has stumbled over words thousands of times. The goal is progress, not perfection. You now possess the foundational knowledge to greet anyone, in almost any situation, with confidence and cultural awareness. You are no longer a passive observer of English conversations, you are an active, prepared participant. So go ahead, step out into the world and use your new tools. Open those doors. I am certain you will be amazed at the connections you will make and the conversations you will start. You have everything you need. The next hello is yours to say. But knowledge alone is not power, it is the application of that knowledge that truly unlocks its potential. Let's move beyond theory and into the practical laboratory of everyday life. I want you to imagine a typical weekday. You wake up, and your first interaction is with your roommate or family member. A cheerful good morning, or a simple hey, how'd you sleep, sets a positive tone. You then head to work or school. As you enter the building, you see the security guard. A polite hello or good morning is appropriate here. Then, you walk into your office or classroom and see your colleagues or classmates. This is the perfect moment for a warm hi, or how's it going, as you settle in. Later, you attend a meeting where a new client is present. When introduced, you offer a firm, "It's a pleasure to meet you," responding to their own greeting with a simple, "Likewise." During your lunch break, you run into an old friend at the cafe. "Hey! Long time no see. How have you been?" you exclaim, genuinely curious about their life. This single day, a mosaic of different social contexts, requires you to seamlessly shift between at least 6 of our 10 essential greetings. This is not about being robotic, it is about having the right tool for the right job, allowing you to focus on the person and the conversation, not on scrambling for words. The fluency comes from this practiced, almost subconscious selection process. Your mind learns to read the social code of each situation and deploy the appropriate linguistic key. This is the rhythm of natural communication. It's the difference between sounding like a language student and sounding like a confident communicator. Practice this mental mapping constantly. As you go about your day, silently identify which greeting you would use with each person you encounter. This mental rehearsal is as valuable as speaking the words aloud. It builds the neural pathways that will make these choices automatic when you need them. Now, let's talk about the symphony of a greeting. A truly masterful greeting is rarely a single, isolated word. It's a combination of elements woven together to create a perfect social opening. Think of it as a phrase, not just a word. For instance, "Hey, Maria. How's it going?" combines a casual greeting, the person's name, and a follow-up question all in one fluid motion. This is the level of naturalness we are striving for. Using someone's name is a powerful social tool. It personalizes the interaction immediately, showing that you see them as an individual. After the initial greeting and the "how are you" exchange, the next step is the crucial bridge into a real conversation. This is often where a slight pause happens, but you can be prepared. Have a simple, open-ended question ready related to the context. "So, what are you working on today?" or "Got any plans for the weekend?" These are low-pressure questions that invite more than a yes or no answer. The rhythm should feel natural, greeting plus name plus follow-up question. Let's break down another example for a more formal setting. "Good morning, Mr. Davis. It's good to see you. How was your trip?" This combines a time-specific greeting, a respectful use of the last name, a warm expression of pleasure, and a specific, relevant question. This demonstrates attentiveness and respect. The goal is to make the other person feel seen, acknowledged, and comfortable. This layered approach prevents the interaction from stalling after the initial hello. It shows you are not just performing a social duty but are genuinely engaged in initiating a dialogue. Practice building these greeting phrases. Write them down. Say them out loud. The muscle memory you build now will become instinct later. This is the art of the greeting, moving from a mere word to a meaningful social overture that gracefully opens the door to any conversation that follows. However, even the most perfectly chosen words can fall flat if they are not delivered with the correct nonverbal communication. This is the secret layer that native speakers understand intuitively. Your body language, your tone of voice, and your facial expression are the music that accompanies the lyrics of your greeting. They convey the genuine emotion and intent behind your words. Let's break down this critical component. First, consider your posture. Standing up straight or leaning slightly forward shows engagement and confidence. Slouching or turning your body away can signal disinterest, even if your words are polite. Next, eye contact. In most English-speaking cultures, making and holding brief eye contact during a greeting is a sign of sincerity and respect. Avoiding someone's eyes can make you seem shy, nervous, or even dishonest. But be careful, staring too intensely can be perceived as aggressive. The key is a soft, natural focus on the other person's eyes for a few seconds at a time. Now, let's talk about the tone of voice. This is perhaps the most important element. A monotone "I'm great to see you" will be perceived as fake. But the same words delivered with a warm, upbeat inflection will sound genuine and welcoming. Practice putting a smile in your voice. You can literally hear a smile over the phone, and the same is true in person. It changes the pitch and the warmth of your tone. Finally, your actual facial expression. A smile is universal. It is the ultimate social lubricant. A warm, sincere smile immediately puts the other person at ease and signals friendly intentions. It transforms a standard hello into a welcoming invitation. Together, these nonverbal cues form a package that either reinforces or undermines your words. Mastering them is what will make your greetings feel authentic and effective, allowing you to build instant rapport and truly connect with anyone you meet. But understanding the words and the body language is only half the battle. To truly master English greetings, you must grasp the cultural context in which they are used. Why is it that in some cultures, a greeting is a lengthy, involved process, while in many English-speaking societies, it can be remarkably brief? The answer often lies in the cultural values of efficiency and a certain degree of privacy. The ubiquitous "how are you" is not an invitation to share your life story precisely because of this cultural boundary. It is a social ritual designed to acknowledge presence and show a baseline of politeness without demanding significant time or emotional investment. This can feel cold to outsiders, but it is the rhythm of life in places like the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Understanding this helps you avoid oversharing and navigate the social landscape smoothly. Furthermore, the expected brevity means the conversation must keep moving. This is where the reciprocal question becomes your best friend. When someone asks you "how's it going?", the most natural thing in the world is to answer and immediately throw the question back to them. "It's going well, thanks. How about you?" This creates a balanced exchange and shows you understand the rules of the social game. Another key aspect of the culture is the value placed on positivity. Even if you're having a terrible day, the standard response to a casual greeting is good, not bad, or can't complain. This is not about being dishonest, it's about maintaining a pleasant and productive social atmosphere. Saving the details of a bad day for close friends is the expected norm. This cultural framework is the invisible structure that holds the greetings together. When you use "Hi, how are you?" and respond with "Good," you are doing more than speaking English. You are performing a cultural script that puts others at ease and signals your social intelligence. Now, let's address the fascinating evolution of these greetings. Language is not a static museum piece, it's a living, breathing entity that changes with time and technology. The greetings we've discussed are the classics, the timeless foundations. But to be truly fluent, you need to recognize their modern descendants, especially in digital communication. Take hello, for instance. In an email or a formal message, it remains the gold standard. But in a quick text message to a friend? You're far more likely to see hey or even just their name. Hi might be used, but often without the follow-up question. The digital space has accelerated the pace of our interactions, and our greetings have adapted to be quicker, more efficient. Then there's the interesting case of "What's up?", which has been famously shortened in texting to "Sup?". This is the ultimate in casual, informal digital greeting, and it follows the same rules as its longer version. It's a ritual, not a real question. Another modern phenomenon is the use of howdy, traditionally associated with the American South but now sometimes used playfully or ironically in other regions and online. It's a greeting that carries a specific, folksy connotation. Understanding this evolution is crucial because it allows you to navigate both the physical and digital worlds of English with equal skill. You wouldn't open a formal business email with "Sup?", just as you wouldn't text your best friend "Good afternoon." The context dictates the form, even as the language modernizes. This adaptability is a hallmark of a proficient speaker. You are not just learning a set of rules from a textbook, you are learning to observe how the language is actually used by real people in real time. This awareness will keep your English current and relatable, preventing it from sounding dated or overly formal. I encourage you to pay close attention to greetings in movies, TV shows, and especially in online forums and social media. You will see the living language in action, and you can incorporate these observations into your own ever-growing repertoire. Now, let's consolidate this learning with a powerful method I call active integration. This goes beyond simple repetition. It's about making these greetings an unconscious part of your English personality. Start with mental mapping. Throughout your day, silently label every social interaction you observe or have. That was a "Hi, how are you?" situation. That required a "Good morning." This constant, low-effort classification builds your intuitive understanding of context. Next, engage in vocal shadowing. Find a clip from a movie or TV show where a natural greeting occurs. Listen to it, and then immediately try to replicate it exactly, not just the words, but the intonation, the rhythm, the speed. This trains your mouth and your ears simultaneously. It bridges the gap between knowing how it should sound and actually producing that sound yourself. Another highly effective technique is the greeting switch. If you are in an environment where you can, try switching your usual greeting for one of your new tools. If you normally say hello to a colleague, try a friendly "How are you doing?" instead. Observe their reaction. This real-world experimentation is invaluable. It provides immediate, low-stakes feedback that solidifies your learning. The fear of making a mistake often holds us back, but most mistakes in greetings are minor and easily corrected with a smile. The goal is to break the habit of overthinking and to build the habit of fluent, appropriate expression. This active integration process is what will transfer these 10 essential greetings from your study notes into your active, everyday vocabulary. You are not just collecting phrases, you are rewiring your communicative instincts to operate successfully in English. Another fascinating aspect of mastering these greetings is learning to navigate their subtle variations across different English-speaking regions. Let's take a quick tour. In the United Kingdom, for example, you will very commonly hear "you all right" as a standard greeting. This is not an expression of concern, it is functionally identical to "how are you?" The expected response is a simple "yeah, you," or "not bad." To answer with a detailed medical report would be a serious social misstep. Meanwhile, in Australia, "day" is a legendary greeting, though perhaps a bit more stereotypical than you might think. It's still widely used, especially in more informal settings, and embodies a friendly, no-nonsense attitude. Across the pond in the United States, regional differences exist too. In the southern states, you're likely to be greeted with a drawn-out "hey y'all" when addressing a group, a wonderfully inclusive and warm greeting. Understanding these regional flavors does more than just prevent confusion, it enriches your cultural understanding and allows you to adapt your speech slightly depending on your audience. This doesn't mean you need to adopt an accent or use slang inauthentically. But recognizing "you all right" when you hear it in London, and knowing how to respond appropriately, will make you feel instantly more comfortable and integrated. It demonstrates a level of cultural fluency that goes beyond the textbook. Think of it as adding colors to your palette. You still have your core set of 10 essential greetings, but now you can appreciate the slight regional shades and tones. This awareness makes you a more versatile and perceptive communicator, ready to connect with people not just from one country, but from across the entire English-speaking world. A crucial yet often overlooked skill is knowing how to gracefully handle the unexpected response. We've established that "how are you" typically expects a good, thanks. But what happens when someone breaks the script? What if they reply with, "actually, I've been better," or launch into a detailed story about their stressful morning? This is not a failure of the greeting, it's an opportunity to demonstrate genuine human connection. Your response in this moment is what separates a polite speaker from a truly empathetic communicator. The key is not to panic or retreat. Acknowledge their response with a brief, empathetic phrase. A simple, "oh, I'm sorry to hear that," or "that sounds tough," is a perfect way to validate their feeling without requiring you to solve their problem. You can then follow up with a gentle, "well, I hope your day gets better," before smoothly transitioning back to the original purpose of your interaction or into a different topic. This approach is respectful, kind, and maintains social harmony. Similarly, if someone gives an overly enthusiastic or detailed positive response, mirror their energy briefly. If they say, "I'm fantastic. Just got back from an amazing vacation," you can respond with, "That's great. I'd love to hear about it sometime," which acknowledges their joy while keeping the conversation flow natural. Preparing for these non-standard responses is a form of social agility. It makes you a resilient and adaptable conversationalist, ready for the beautiful, unscripted reality of human interaction. This final layer of mastery ensures that you are not just mechanically using greetings, but are truly engaging with the person on the other side of them, no matter what their initial response might be. To truly weave these greetings into the fabric of your daily life, we must discuss the concept of layered integration. This is the practice of moving beyond single, standalone greetings and beginning to combine them with other social lubricants to create a seamless and polished entry into any conversation. Think of it as building a small, welcoming archway before you step into the main house of the dialogue. The simplest way to do this is by consistently using the person's name. Hi, Sarah. Good morning, Mr. Jones. Hey, Mark. How's it going? This single addition transforms a generic acknowledgement into a personalized interaction. It shows you remember them and are addressing them specifically. The next layer involves adding a context-specific observation or question immediately after the initial greeting. For example, if you're meeting a coworker on a Monday, your greeting sequence could be, "Hi, Anna. How was your weekend?" If you see a colleague carrying a heavy box, you might say, "Hey, Tom. Need a hand with that?" This demonstrates situational awareness and immediate engagement. It shows you are present in the moment and not just running through a generic social script. The most advanced layer involves recalling a previous detail from your last conversation. Good afternoon, Lisa. How did that presentation go you were worried about? This requires active listening and memory, but the impact is profound. It signals that you value the ongoing relationship and that your previous conversations mattered. This layered approach, greeting plus name plus relevant comments/question, is the hallmark of a sophisticated and socially skilled communicator. It ensures that your greetings are never empty or robotic, but are instead the genuine starting point for meaningful connection. Practice building these sequences in your mind for the people you interact with regularly. The final frontier in mastering these greetings is not just about knowing them individually, but understanding how they flow together in the rapid-fire exchange of a real conversation. This is where listening becomes as important as speaking. You must train your ear to recognize the subtle cues that signal which type of greeting is being initiated, so you can respond in kind without a moment's hesitation. For instance, if someone opens with a bright, "Hey there," you know immediately that the register is informal and you can respond with a similarly casual "Hey. What's up?" instead of a more formal "Hello." This mirroring is a fundamental principle of natural dialogue. It creates a sense of harmony and mutual understanding. Conversely, if you are greeted with a polite, "Good afternoon," you instinctively shift your own register to match that level of formality. This dance is happening instinctively for native speakers, and you can develop the same intuition through active listening. Pay attention to conversations around you, in person, in films, or in podcasts. Notice the opening volley. How does the other person respond? What is the rhythm? This practice tunes your brain to the music of conversation, allowing you to anticipate and participate fluidly. This skill ensures that you are never caught off guard, and that you can seamlessly match the social energy of the person you are speaking with, making every interaction feel comfortable and connected from the very first word. It is the ultimate application of your knowledge, allowing you to not only use greetings correctly but to become a truly integrated participant in the flow of English dialogue. To solidify all these concepts, let's engage in a practical role-playing exercise. I will describe a scenario, and you will mentally select and articulate the perfect greeting. This is your final rehearsal before the curtain rises on your real-world interactions. First scenario, you are walking into a job interview. The receptionist looks up at you. What do you say? The ideal choice here is a polite and professional good morning, or hello. It's simple, respectful, and sets the right tone. Second scenario, you're at a casual party and a friend waves you over to meet their roommate. As you approach, your friend says, "This is Sam." You make eye contact with Sam and say, "Here, hey, Sam. It's nice to meet you," or a cheerful "Hi, it's great to meet you," is perfect. It's friendly, uses their name, and expresses positive sentiment. Third scenario, you see a coworker you know fairly well in the office kitchen. They're making coffee. What's your greeting? A classic "Hey, how's it going?" or "Hi there." "How's your morning so far?" works beautifully. It's casual, includes a follow-up question, and is appropriate for the context. Now, reverse the roles. How would you respond if someone said to you, "Long time no see"? Your immediate response should be, "I know, it has been a while. How have you been?" This completes the social loop perfectly. Practicing these scenarios out loud, even by yourself, builds muscular and mental memory. The goal is to make the correct greeting your automatic, default response. This eliminates hesitation and builds the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you are prepared for any social situation. This practiced readiness is the ultimate reward for your diligent study. The true mastery of these 10 essential greetings lies not in rigid memorization, but in their fluid and intuitive application. This final piece of advice is perhaps the most important. You must learn to think in English from the very first word. When you see someone approaching, your internal monologue should not be in your native language, translating, "Oh, I should say hello." This translation delay is what causes hesitation and awkwardness. Instead, you must train your brain to immediately access the English greeting that fits the context. This is a skill built through massive repetition and the conscious decision to internally narrate your day in English. When you walk down the street, silently greet people in your mind. "Good morning," to the person with the dog. "Hi there," to the woman running past. "Hey, how's it going?" to the group of friends. This constant mental rehearsal creates direct neural pathways, bypassing the translation step altogether. Furthermore, pay close attention to the physical sensations of saying these words. Feel the shape of hello in your mouth. Notice the more relaxed jaw for hi. Understand the breathy, informal sound of hey. This physical familiarity is as crucial as the cognitive understanding. You are not just learning vocabulary, you are training your vocal apparatus to produce new sounds with comfort and confidence. Combine this with the body language we discussed, the smile, the eye contact, the posture, and the greeting becomes a full-body expression of your intent to connect. This holistic approach, where mind, body, and language work in unison, is the ultimate key. It transforms the greetings from learned phrases into genuine expressions of who you are in English. This is the final step, moving from practice to ownership, where these 10 tools become an unthinking, natural part of your communicative self. This journey through the 10 essential greetings has armed you with the fundamental keys to unlocking thousands of conversations. You now possess the knowledge to navigate the social landscape with precision, from the formal good morning to the casual what's up? But remember, this knowledge is a living entity. It thrives through consistent application and observation. The real world is your classroom now. Listen intently to how people greet each other in supermarkets, in parks, and in movies. Notice the subtle variations, the unique blends, the energy behind the words. Do not be a passive observer, be an active collector of these linguistic nuances. Your confidence will grow with every single greeting you successfully use. Each hello, each how's it going, is a small victory, a brick laid in the foundation of your fluency. There will be moments of hesitation, and that is perfectly normal. The goal is not perfection, it is progress. The power you now hold is the ability to initiate contact, to show respect, to build rapport, and to express genuine interest, all within the first few seconds of an interaction. This is a profound skill that will enrich your personal and professional life. Carry these 10 tools with you consciously. Wield them with the awareness of their context and the warmth of your sincere intention. You are no longer unprepared. You are equipped. You are ready. The next conversation awaits your greeting. Step forward and begin.